2018 Renault Zoe Hatchback Review. The good points of Renault Zoe Hatchback: extremely low running costs, zero tailpipe emissions, futuristic drive, super quiet out. The bad points of Renault Zoe Hatchback: relatively limited range, time instructed to charge, really pulley ride, oddly high driving position. Renault can be a trailblazer in relation to affordable electrification, plus the Zoe hatchback, using its claimed 250-mile range, is considered the most convincing fossil fuel alternative this side of your Tesla. Rivals such as the Nissan Leaf and Smart 4 electric drive can't match the French car's range, and although a conventional hatchback just like the Skoda Fabia could prove cheaper to operate, it doesn't offer zero tailpipe emissions. It's worth taking into consideration that electric car ownership continues to be a bit more complicated compared to the plug-and-play nature that auto producers would have you believe. This full article on the Renault Zoe will disclose exactly how realistic HEV ownership is made for you. Renault Zoe is ideal for urban driving. In town, the Zoe feels extremely quick off the line due to the instant torque of the electric motor. This produces 92 horsepower or 88 horsepower dependent upon version and 220 Nm of pulling power. While the initial 30 miles per hour feels brisk, the Zoe's punch does tail off around the way to motorway speeds, causing a 0.62 miles per hour period of in 13.5 seconds. That figure is around as relevant because 84 miles per hour top speed though. This is often a car that may spend most of their life within the city with occasional jaunts further afield. Capable as high as 250 miles per charge. Like some other plug-in vehicle, the key concern for potential Zoe buyers would be the car's range. Renault provides Zoe that has a choice of two batteries minus 22 kWh and 41 kHW, giving a theoretical selection of 149 and 250 miles respectively. Here's where it receives a bit complicated though, because the simple truth is the range would have been a little shorter than this based on factors, for instance driving style, air con, plus the weather, contrary to popular belief. We've detailed the best way this works within the performance section. How long it'll decide to try charge can be another movable feast. In addition to two battery types, there can also be a quick charge option. This may exactly what it says for the tin, and also a variety of different speed charging points to make use of. Again, we'll explain this fully later from the performance section. For some context though, the most important battery takes 15 hours to charge employing a domestic plug, however over 1 hour on a fast charger. Don't forget battery leasing. As well as purchasing or financing the vehicle, the following biggest price is the battery. You can either buy this outright or lease it from Renault, aforementioned option covering you should it goes wrong. The government still provides a £4,500 plug-in vehicle grant, meaning the Zoe's monthly costs on the PCP are competitive with petrol or diesel alternatives, and you can expect to element in an additional £49 to £110 30 days for the battery dependent upon annual mileage. As such, the Zoe is really a clean and cheap substitute for the internal combustion engine, providing your own self matches its list of attributes. Watch this full Renault Zoe review if that's true. The verdict. The mainstream electric car felt just like a pipe dream for countless years, available simply to off-grid types who make their very own shoes and own a windmill generator. Here is often a hatchback that, for urban use, will likely be virtually indistinguishable from a normal fossil-fueled car. Yes, you have to plug it in, but thinking about the now constant must find a charger for sets from your smartphone on your Dyson machine, The simple fact you don't need to do the same using your car is now increasingly weird. If you would like an electric car as well as your budget doesn't stretch to some Tesla, say hello for a next group of wheels. Very quick to get away from the mark. Slower to accelerate on vacation. Only one gear, just like driving a car. Renault Zoe performance comes courtesy of an electrical motor with 92 horsepower and 220 Nm of torque. The quick charge version has slightly less power, at 88 horsepower, but we don't think you'll notice. This means 0.62 miles per hour use of 13.5 seconds along with a top speed limited by 84 miles per hour. Not figures to put the world ablaze, though the good news is that it feels nippy around town centers. The pulling power is accessible no matter where you are inside your rev range, meaning it feels considerably quicker than it is. There's instant go there when you plant your foot. It does tail off slightly as wind resistance starts to become a factor, but we're unclear many Zoe buyers will probably be hitting motorway speeds for very long. Well, not whenever they want to search anywhere near the auto's maximum range. Not so quick about the motorway. Effectively it only has one gear, thus it works the same as an automatic. You simply pull kit lever into D and you're ready to go. One thing that may jolt if you're accustomed to driving combustion-engined cars could be the regenerative braking. When you take your foot over accelerator, the Zoe automatically sets out to slow down in an effort to charge it. With some practice you can easily drive using one pedal, by pressing the accelerator to look faster and releasing it to decrease. What could be the Renault Zoe's range? Right, this is usually a bit complicated. Even so, the headline 250-mile range for your Renault Zoe is usually a theoretical figure based around the most powerful battery. For the smaller 22 kWh version, this number is 149 miles. Renault says in fact you should expect slightly under this, with 106,180 miles quoted for summer driving, dropping to 71,115 miles in the wintertime. Obviously the product range is dependent on the driving style, whether you've got the environment concept to Baltic, and exactly how many passengers you're conveying, but that's not different to the standard car. How long does a Renault Zoe choose to use charge? How long is often a piece of string. Without being awkward, this really will depend on several factors: the two main different battery sizes and 4 sorts of charger. Renault Zoe batteries can be found in either 22 kWh or 41 kWh that has a fast charge option about the latter. Obviously the larger option takes longer to charge. In the UK you will find currently 3 charging speeds helpfully called slow, fast and rapid. You'll want to work with the second two together with the Zoe. We've put down what you should expect below, and many types of figures allow me to share laid out this way: 22 kWh, 41 kWh, 41 quick charge, for simplicity. Slow charge 3 kilowatts. This describes an ordinary domestic 3-pin plug, that may take, to be honest, ages to charge your Zoe. Expect 9 hours 15 h 30 minutes, good enough to make ownership a clumsy proposition. Fast charge 7 kilowatts single or 22 kilowatts 3-phase. Thankfully you should have a single-phase wall box positioned in your home totally free. This special plug charges you your car in 34 hours 7 h 30 mins 8 h 30 minutes, quick enough to get a nighttime fill. Outside your home you'll find 3-phase charge points, which might be quicker still: -1 hour 45 minutes 80%, 2 hours 40 mins 2 h 40 minutes. These are sometimes set up on workplaces and public car parks and in most cases need a subscription to make use of. Rapid charge 43 kilowatts. The fastest of chargers currently is often found at motorway service stations and charges your automobile to 80% in 60 mins 1H 40 mins 65 minutes. Light, feedback-free steering. Easy drive an automobile but not sporty. Great in town agility though. On the trail the Zoe can be quite easy drive an automobile. It has light steering, which although absolutely without requiring feedback, is sharp and responsive. The car is incredibly easy to operate a vehicle in tight spaces on account of its small turning circle, while parking isn't difficult on account of excellent visibility helped further because of the reversing camera standard on signature nav, optional on other trims. It's not much of a performance car, and that's highlighted from the amount of body roll the Zoe exhibits when cornering. It doesn't become unruly, but repeated enthusiastic cornering is probably going to have rear seat passengers reaching to the sick bag. Unusually for any high-tech modern car, the Zoe actually uses a normal handbrake as opposed to the more common electric type. High driving position. Simple, ergonomic controls. Digital screen replaces dials. The initial thing that strikes you about sitting when driving of the Zoe is the place high the driving position is. In front from the driver is usually a swish-looking dash that displays information including vehicle speed and charge remaining. You can select a number of different graphics schemes and it'll also provide you with if you're in eco mode or you cannot. The 7.0-inch touchscreen SatNav method is placed inside center with the dash and seems very an easy task to operate. It is clear and appearance good too with thanks to the gloss black and chrome touches. Other controls are simple to operate too. There's a stereo stalk behind the steering wheel plus the air conditioning switch gear is large enough to only operate. In relation to its interior construction, the Zoe feels very futuristic and you will discover an array of different plastics, many of which feel a little bit cheap. Comfy seats set high up. Could do with more bolstering. Impressive ride quality. Comfort levels are fairly high from the Renault Zoe. The front seats are supportive and cozy. One side bolstering does its better to hold you available through enthusiastic cornering. It's an incredibly quiet location to be. There's just the slightest of whispers in the electric motor, while wind and road noise simply aren't a worry, certainly out. The ride quality is impressive too. Bumps and holes inside the road are consumed well, that's going to be a huge bonus for UK drivers. There is usually a trio of exercise machines levels available within the Renault Zoe: Expression Nav, Dynamic Nav and Signature Nav. Standard Renault Zoe equipment. The entry-level Expression Nav model includes 15-inch wheel trims, digital dashboard, cruise control and speed limiter, automatic climate control, Renault R-Link multimedia system on 7.0-inch touchscreen, TomTom Live navigation. Dynamic Nav models include long-range Z.E 40 battery providing 250-mile range, 16-inch alloy wheels, chrome front grille surround, black Dynamic Nav upholstery, leather-covered wheel, automatic lights and wipers, uprated stereo, rear parking sensors. Signature Nav trim sits at the top of kids, featuring 16-inch alloys, signature sill plate and badges, premium synthetic leather upholstery, bronze-colored accents, electrically folding door mirrors, heated front seats, Bose 3D sound, Renault Zoe optional extras. There's little choice here other compared to the blue interior touch pack, which adds colorful touches for the interior of your vehicle, and a few different interior mats as well as a boot protector. Renault Zoe rated 5 stars by Euro NCAP. 3 ISOFIX mounts, 1 front as well as back. Simulated engine noise to warn pedestrians. There isn't a lot to worry about regarding Renault Zoe safety. A 5-star Euro NCAP crash testing score highlights simply how much work continues to be done in the therapy lamp. To help warn pedestrians of their approach, the Zoe emits an audio when traveling at speeds all the way to 18 miles per hour. This continues to be developed with the help of visually impaired, those who may not realize there is often a car inside their vicinity unless they will hear it. Standard safety equipment includes ABS and escape electronic stability control, driver, front passengers, side and head airbags, 3 ISOFIX points, found around the front passenger seat and outer rear seats. There are ISOFIX child seat lashing points around the outer rear seats and also around the front passenger seat. Perhaps of the majority of concern to the people buying an electrical car, many measures have already been introduced to prevent problems with all the high-voltage electrical systems inside the event of a positive change. Of course, there's also the host of electronic safety systems. The truth is, on most new cars these days, for instance, stability control and traction control. There's additionally a speed limiter and cruise control functions. Lots of passenger space inside the Zoe. High seating position means one step up. Boot space measuring 3,381,225 liters. It's worth noting that practicality depends largely about how it's likely to end up used. For zipping around cities it's a totally serviceable tool, yet its range, cabin size and luggage capacity means longer journeys should be left to bigger vehicles. There's space for 5 within the Zoe, but battery location underneath the seats means there's hook step up for getting into your vehicle in the very first place. Those inside the back benefit coming from a flat floor though, as there's no transmission tunnel running the length of the automobile. Compact external dimensions belie the quantity of room inside. The Zoe is approximately the same size since the Renault Clio but feels roomier inside. A jolly decent 338 liters of boot space, expanding 1,225 liters once you fold the seats down, not class leading but on par with hatchback rivals.